Hey y'all, I'm going to share a recipe with you today that I have watched a couple other YouTube ladies make, Kristen Step and Mandy in the Making, and they both have real good channels that have a lot to do with cooking and stuff like that. So anyway, if you'd like to check their channels out, you'll find some good recipes there. And so they make creamy, let me get it right, creamy ranch pork. It takes very few ingredients, and going by Mandy in the Making's husband, his review on it, it is really good. So I want to try that for my family today. I don't have pork chops, but I do have like a pork tenderloin that I'm going to cut up, and I'm sure it will be basically the same. But let's just get started and see how we like this. So it's going to be a Crockpot recipe, and I had bought these to do a different recipe, but this just looks so good I decided to do this. So I'm going to cut these two pork loins up to make this recipe, and it will be too much food for one or even two meals, so whatever is left I'll freeze, and then that'll come in handy on a day that I don't want to cook or don't have time. That is really juicy. So I'll just cut that up basically into chunks. And my store had this food line on sale for $1.49 a pound, which is a really good buy. I need to get a couple of these and put them in the freezer for later use, because I usually don't see these on sale. And I probably should have already had one cut up to save time. I apologize for that. Uh-oh, about lost it. I need to either sharpen my knives or get some better knives, because these have seen better days. This is the only kind of knife my dad would use, and so I kind of inherited that same thought. I really like these, and they're excellent knives when they're sharp. And I'm not even sure the name of it. And this seems to have some skin that's hard to get through, but we'll get it to work. Might just have to cut that off. Okay, finally. Alright, so now I'll cut the other one. Hopefully it won't take us long to cut this one. I think what I'm going to do is just go ahead and finish cutting this up and then come back, because I'm sure you're probably going to get pretty bored watching me cut this meat, so I'll be right back. So I got the meat cut up, and we'll go on to the next step. And if you were making one recipe of this, you would use 1 can of cream of chicken soup, but I'm going to be making a double batch, so I'm going to use 2 cans. And this is silly, but when you dump out cream of chicken soup, it usually will come out in one big plop, and there's something so cool about that, I think. And it takes very little to entertain me. So you take your tablespoon and you get 3 tablespoons of the ranch dressing mix, or a pack of it. I'm doubling the recipe, so I'm going to use 6 tablespoons. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So what you want to do is stir up these 2 ingredients together till you have them real good and mixed together. And you won't need to add water because you have enough liquid from your pork. And the gravy on this, according to Mandy and the Makings husband, is so delicious, and I wanted to have enough gravy to have plenty because my family loves gravy. So now you get your crock pot and spray it, and a lot of the girls use those liners, and I would like to use them, but I never think to pick them up when I'm at the store. So anyway, that's an option for you if you want to get some to help with your cleanup. And spread this around so that it pretty much covers the bottom of the crock pot. Then you want to just put your meat in there, and I'm just going to dump it in. If you're using pork chops, you might want to lay them out a little bit better than what I'm doing. And so those are in there. And next, take any seasoning that you think you would like, and this is optional, and season your pork. I'm going to use some of this garlic and onion blend. I got this one from TJ Maxx, and I believe they also sell it at Ross's, but I really like this blend. So that's what I'm putting over it. There's a lot of meat, so I put a lot of that. And then come back and add the rest of your soup mixture. So that's got it. I'm going to just put the lid on it, and I'm going to turn it on high for a couple hours. Then I'm going to turn it on low and let it go 2 or 3 hours more, or until the pork is tender. And when it is, I'll come back and plate it up, and we'll see what we think about it. The pork chops have finished cooking, as has everything else that I'm making for supper, so I'm going to show you what we're having for supper tonight. And I am so pleased with the pork chops. I already got a little taste, and oh my goodness, it is so, so good. And Mandy in the making, if you're watching, you tell your husband he is absolutely right about the sauce on these pork chops. It is phenomenal. So, here is the pork chops with the broth that they made. The liquid all came from the pork chops themselves. So when you add your soup and all, you know, just don't add any broth. The pork chops make plenty. We're having, I don't think you can see, we're having green beans, and these are half fresh, half canned, and I just put some water in the skillet with some powdered chicken bouillon and a little sugar, put my beans in, and let them simmer for about 45 minutes, and then I put some bacon bits on top and let them simmer about 15 minutes more. Then I have mashed potatoes, and these are instant, and I make them, just put some milk in the pot, and I don't let it come to a boil. I just, when I feel kind of like it's wanting to stick a little bit on the bottom, the milk, not burn, but just stick, I cut the burner off, and then I add my flakes and stir it around, and I add salt, pepper, butter, and a little hunk of cream cheese. And that cream cheese makes all the difference in the world in how good your mashed potatoes are. And then here is a piece of beer bread that I made, and if I don't have the video up already, I will soon. So let's go ahead and make our plate. So this is my husband's plate, and I'm just gonna taste a little bit off of his plate. So I have mashed potatoes, and I made a little indentation for the gravy. And I'm gonna give him 2 pieces of pork chop, or pork. This is like pork loin. And then put this over his potatoes. And I'll scoot the bread over and make room for the green beans. He's not a huge green bean lover. So there is the plate. And the pork chops are just falling apart. I did it about, like I said, 3 hours on high, 2 hours on low. Pork chops are just falling apart. So good. This is just so good. I'm going to try the potatoes with the gravy on it. It's delicious. So that is our meal for today. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Take care. Hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.